With no further ado, we would like to call our first poet, Miss Beverly May Nisbeth. Please come to your open mic. And remember, I'm going to start the clock as soon as you sit down. Oh, she corrected me. She said we got to do an introduction of herself. Then I start the clock. Okay, Beverly.
I stand right here, and both of you can see me, right? Or should I stand? I guess I'll just stay right there. So, good evening, everyone. I'm a Nisbeth from Colby. My name is Beverly May, and this beautiful property inspired me to share with you the first memory or short story that I'm going to do. It reminds me of my youth growing up. Memories of my grandmother. Grandmother's house was the place to be. The yard seemed large and adventurous to a little girl. I remember the variety of fruit trees and flowering plants that adorned the property. The great tamarind tree, the kinnip, soursop, pomegranate, sugar apple, lime, fig, and grapefruit trees. But the plum tree I climbed and from whose branches I often swung was my favorite. I would chew on the leaves and then swallow the tangy, teeth-edging sap. The plum tree was also my fantasy starship. Sometimes I would sit on the step beneath your bedroom window in the shade of the fig trees and play with my Star Wars action figures. I loved to slide down the antenna pole, the TV antenna pole, or climb along the outside of the porch railing while you yelled at me from the kitchen to behave. It seemed to me you magically had eyes at the back of your head and ears that could hear a pin drop. You took care of my bruises and falls with Matavia water and sugar water, while scolding me about the scars on my legs I would supposedly later regret. Still don't regret it. I loved all the dogs in the yard and would sit on the ground with them and let them lick me, much to your disapproval and scorn. I remember on some rainy days when you would make me warm toast with salted butter, and the clattering sound of the rain on the roof mixed with the warm sense of the kitchen made me feel safe and cozy. Even as I grew older, you always sent me a taste of your day's meal. I recall your bravery that day. You fought the attacking dog off me with a broomstick. When I went abroad to school, you sent me birthday cards over the years. I was always in your prayers which I know kept me from harm's way. The best part of grandmother's house was grandmother being there. It was the Sunday afternoon meeting place. A time when all the aunts, uncles, and cousins would visit until well into the late evening. I come from a really big family, so there were lots of cousins. While the grown-ups sat around and chatted boisterously, all the cousins played games in the yard. Auntie Gracie, one of my favorite aunts, always baked a plain cake, which I never really cared for because she always put raisins in them, and I don't really like raisins. And Auntie Cynthia, Nurse Cynthia from Mullet Bay, those of you might remember Nurse Richardson, Auntie Cynthia made sure the coffee percolator was belching and spewing good old Douwe Egberts. Every now and then, Auntie Gracie, or my father, Bunchy, would turn and yell at us children to stop making so much noise, or you see big people talking. I love that time of my childhood. Those were the days. We are all grown now, and many of us have our own families. The house is no longer the beehive it once was. You were the thread that ensured those Sunday family get-togethers. It is because of you that I have the family I do, and I am thankful. I wish you could be here to see me one day have my own family, but I know you will always be present because they will be another extension of you. I am glad of the recent times we spent together on the porch, having coffee and reading the morning paper. I'm fortunate I was there with you one of the last times, holding your hand and stroking and brushing your silky salt and pepper hair. We once talked about my perhaps being unable to attend your funeral due to my academic obligations, but I am here. Somehow. Forgive me should this sound selfish. I would like to believe you held on for me. You were so brave for so long. I love you, grandmother. Rest sweetly now. In memoriam, grandmother, Miss Kate, Erichin Urani Gums James, June 2005.
Very well done, Beverly. Thank you.